In Norse mythology, Thor's the god of thunder, strength, healing, and oak trees? Well, regardless, he was badass enough to get his own comic book.
Thor, Odin's son, was conceived between the Allfather and Earth's elder goddess with the intent of creating the strongest man in the universe. He can lift over 1,000,000 tons, move at supersonic speeds, never feel exhaustion, survive the vacuum of space, and talk with frogs.
He's immune to poison, burns, and electrocution, and he can survive the heat of the sun or even a planet-bursting explosion. Well, I guess that's what happens when God bangs the Earth.
While Thor is not invulnerable, he is augmented by his godly status and a fraction of the all-powerful Odin force sealed within Mjolnir, his enchanted hammer.
That's his weapon? That thing is way too tiny. I mean, if he was the god of mending fences or something, I guess I could see— Oh, shit! Never mind!
Mjolnir is mystically bound to Thor and obeys him as if it were alive. And if it were any larger, it would be too heavy to wield.
So it's not the size of his hammer, it's how he uses it.
It was forged by dwarves using the core of a dying star, which went supernova and killed all the dinosaurs.
Yeah, forget anything I said earlier. I'm liking the dino slaughtering hammer. Where can I get one?
Mjolnir can only be wielded by Thor, although there is a workaround. Red Hulk once carried the hammer into space because Thor was still holding onto it, which may be one of the dumbest technicalities ever.
But Mjolnir's not the only thing in Thor's arsenal. He wears the Belt of Strength, which, surprise, doubles his already powerful might.
And naturally, as the god of thunder, Thor can manipulate the weather. Storms, tornadoes, the wind, he can even summon deadly bolts of lightning.
He also has some control over the Earth. He can make earthquakes that span entire continents.
Thor has fought and defeated many of the most powerful warriors in the Marvel Universe. He's mastered enough martial arts to box Captain America to a standstill and has even overpowered the Hulk. Although, in the past, he could lose his powers when separated from his hammer.
Which is pretty stupid, considering his main method of attack is throwing the damn thing.
But through some convoluted magic absurdity, this is no longer a problem. In fact, he has no specific physical weaknesses, though he does suffer from a superiority complex. Arrogant and eager to fight, he often ignores even the most perceptible risks.
I like him.
Next.
This is the Realm Eternal, root of the world tree and noblest of the 9 dimensions, Asgard.
Like a protector for your butt?
Shush. Asgard. Since ancient times, this colorful realm has been inhabited by warriors so powerful, many believe them to be immortal deities.
And they sort of were, but being immortal in Asgard is a funny thing. See, every few thousand years, these fellas go through a little apocalyptic event where everybody dies.
Then they are born anew with only vague memories of their previous lives. This is the cataclysmic event known as Ragnarok. And Asgard's newest king, the Allfather Odin, was determined to break this cycle.
So he fathered the best damn warrior the realms had ever seen. The Mighty Thor.
Thor spent most of his life living among his people and defending his realm from its enemies.
And he was good at it, like really good. He's their tank and DPS all rolled into one when it comes to raiding other realms. And boy, does he look the part. This guy is 6 feet 6 inches of pure muscle, and possibly lead because he somehow weighs 640 pounds.
Thor was trained by the best in Asgard and has proven his mettle across multiple worlds. He helped found the Avengers and has defeated everything from giants to demons to other gods.
As a real-life god, Thor is super strong, super fast, and super durable. And even on those rare occasions when he does get hurt, he patches up real quick with his healing factor.
And of course, being the god of thunder lets him control lightning and even the earth itself.
But Thor isn't complete without his iconic arsenal. He wears the Belt of Strength, which doubles his already impressive might, and he swings around the most awesome tiny little hammer you've ever seen.
Mjolnir is an ancient weapon. 65 million years ago, it was forged by dwarves by harnessing a star. Its construction was so intense, it caused the star to explode, and its fiery remains eradicated the dinosaurs.
Talk about metal!
Speaking of metal, Mjolnir is forged from Uru, an extremely durable iron-like ore that is highly susceptible to enchantment. Mjolnir in particular is enchanted to house a cosmic storm, powerful enough to shake black holes. And yes, the wielders of Mjolnir can access the storm's powers, including levitation and control over weather.
Never wanted anything so bad in my life.
Unfortunately, only those the hammer deems worthy can actually wield it, or even pick it up for that matter. You must be pure of heart and noble of mind, or else it won't even budge.
Well, lucky for Thor, he's worthy of adding Mjolnir's awesome power to his own. And with their powers combined, nothing can stop him.
Thor has easily tagged Quicksilver, who at his best can run around 670 million miles per hour. And Thor can move even faster than that when his hammer is dragging him around.
Yeah, that's a thing. Thor doesn't really fly on his own in the same way people like Superman or Captain Marvel do. Instead, he literally chucks his hammer as hard as he can and hangs on for dear life as it takes him for a ride.
Thor has said Mjolnir is fast enough to reach the edge of the universe in 60 seconds. This means it can travel at least 350 trillion miles per hour, or over 500,000 times the speed of light.
Don't let go, Goldilocks. Hitting pavement at that speed might hurt even you.
Yeah, he'd be fine. He can withstand a dip in the sun, where it can be over 27 million degrees Fahrenheit. And while he was knocked unconscious, he did survive a bomb capable of planet busting, equal to a force of over 53 quadrillion megatons of TNT.
I'm more impressed that he lifted this giant-ass snake. Look at that thing.
The Midgard serpent is massive, capable of wrapping around the entire Earth twice. It stretches nearly 900 miles wide and 50,000 miles long. By comparing it to the largest living snakes, the 550-pound green anaconda, we can estimate the Midgard serpent weighs about 17 trillion tons.
Hold on, Wiz. I know my snakes, and it looks like that Midgard serpent is actually constricting the Earth. By squeezing prey, a snake can apply pressure 16 times its normal weight. So Thor didn't just lift a really heavy snake, he outmatched 272 trillion tons of force.
That is correct, Boomstick.
Goddamn right it is.
It is important to stress the unbelievable power Thor possesses. So much so that in fights with other godly beings, whole worlds can shatter. If it ever comes to it, he can even enter a state of warrior's madness. While he loses some control doing this, his power increases tenfold.
Why did we put this guy up against Raiden again?
Well, Thor's cocky attitude has put him in all kinds of trouble. He's even lost Mjolnir's power more than once as a result.
Yeah, the hammer isn't invulnerable, and if Thor's holding on to it, its enchantment can even be tricked. Like that one time the Hulk used his own hammer against him by moving his arm. Why, you hit yourself!
So to teach Thor a lesson in humility, Odin banished him to Earth, transforming him into a handicapped human.
You call that a handicap? That's a limp. I'm over here with a friggin' shotgun for a leg, and I'm not even allowed to park in those special parking spaces.
Still, it turns out sending Thor to Earth was all part of Odin's plan to alter the cycle of Ragnarok, as such a thing had never been done before. And it worked! 4,000 years after the previous Ragnarok, Armageddon was stopped for good, and the gods were free. All thanks to Thor. And a giant time-traveling floating sentient eyeball, but mostly Thor.
Can't make this stuff up.
I accept your surrender.